Today we're going to be reviewing how to identify an email bounce and clearing them with Postman. For documentation reference, please check the link in the description. Okta now provides visibility into email delivery events within the system log. This gives Okta admins more insight into what's happening with email functionality, including vital information on certain issues that can arise, including when an email bounces. In this demonstration, we're going to be breaking this down into two parts. Part 1, identifying a bounced email. Part 2, clearing them with Postman. Part 1, identifying an email bounce. To access your tenant's system log, first we'll need to access the admin console from the dashboard. Next, from the left-hand side navigation panel, select Reports and select System Log. To search for a failed email delivery for a specific user, we can use a targeted filter. Our target ID equals and the user we wish to target, the event type, and the outcome. Note, if you just want to see the delivery events for a specific user, you can exclude this last part. Here we can see that the user's email has bounced, and thus will not receive further emails without intervention. Before we proceed, we will need to review and make note of the error causing the bounce. This can be viewed by expanding the log details, expanding event, system, debug context, debug data. Down here, we see the provider message. This is the error message that was returned when we attempted to email this user. Here in our example, we can see that this email bounced as the result of a temporary server error. For the sake of this demonstration, we know this email server we attempted to deliver to was having some issues at the time, and they've since been resolved. So sending email to this user will not be an issue, and we're okay to remove the bounce. Part 2, using Postman to clear the bounce. Reference documentation can be found in the details below. Now that we have identified a user that is not receiving email as a result of being placed on the bounce list, and that the issue which caused the bounce has been resolved, we may now proceed to clearing the bounce using an API call to our Okta tenant to remove the email address from the bounce list. For this demonstration, we're going to be using Postman. If you're unfamiliar with making API calls and setting up a Postman environment, check out the link in the description for information on how to set up your environment in Postman. Here is an overview of the post request we are going to be sending to our org. We're going to be making a post to our URL/API/v1/org/email/bounces/remove list. Note, the URL in this demonstration is an environment variable configured when setting up your Postman environment. That should be pointing to your Okta subdomain. Here are the headers we're using for reference. Next, we'll need to fill out the body of the request. We're going to be using the format from the reference documentation below, which once again is linked in the description. We will simply just need to enter the email address we need to remove from the bounce list. Once complete, hit the send button. After sending the request, a successful response will result in an HTTP 200 OK status message. We'll also note that in the body of the response, we have no errors. We should now be able to send email to this user successfully. Thank you for watching. For more Okta support videos, be sure to check out the Okta support playlist right here on our YouTube channel.